Welcome to Crown
and Root Podcast. I'm Darkstar Phoenix, a healer, photographer, and writer based in North Carolina.
And I'm Amy Sabatino, a clairvoyant psychic medium that you can find in Massachusetts. This podcast is a fun and informative spiritual discussion where we discuss topics that we find interesting and want to learn more about. We'd love to share that with you.
Our episode will start with a quick ground clear protect meditation, followed by a slightly longer meditation that we feel resonates with the energy of the month. After that, we'll chat about our personal experiences and perspectives on the episode subject, and end with a blessing of gratitude.
So stay tuned and get comfortable. To open our podcast, we're going to do an intro into ground clear protect meditation. With that, if you are driving, please do not attempt this meditation at this time. There will be a link that you can click to resume at a more appropriate setting. Begin by sitting comfortably. Try to relax and see if you can connect your feet to the floor and sit in an upright position. Breathe slowly and evenly. As you breathe, try to feel it in your stomach. And exhale slowly through your mouth. Take one deep breath and hold this breath. Breathe out slowly. With each breath, become present in your body. Focus on how your head, arms, and chest respond with each breath in. As you breathe, feel your breath fill each part of your body. Take a deep breath in and breathe out slowly through your mouth. While breathing, imagine your feet are connected to the ground. The more relaxed you become, the harder it is to move them. It's a comfortable heaviness and you do not wish to move against it. As you continue to breathe, become more aware of how your feet feel on the floor. Continue breathing slowly. Each breath connects our body to our physical realm as we feel ourselves in the room of life. Become aware of how your body moves with each breath in and out. As each breath goes deeper into your body, imagine roots connecting your feet to the deep underground. Each breath bringing in resources you need from your roots. Each breath in digs them deeper into the ground. As you breathe out, let go of all negativity and send it back into the earth from the roots in your feet. Giving all negativity back to the earth as you breathe out. Breathe in the resources you need and breathe out all negativity. Take another breath and hold it. Feel it in your stomach. Your feet are deep into the earth, and they are connected to the core. Slowly exhale through your mouth, and as you do, feel a healing warmth spread through your body as you embrace this connection to the ground. Continue breathing at a normal pace. As you do so, feel the energy around you. With each breath out, become more and more aware of your own energy and the space it occupies. See your energy as the iridescent color that surrounds you. Imagine with each breath in, this area gets bigger. As you breathe, state mentally or aloud that all energy that surrounds you is for your highest and best. Only energy that is in your highest and best may surround you. breathe out strongly all the negativity around you. As you do so, envision a screen that filters all the energy around you. Each breath out releases negativity from your space as each breath in draws positive energy to you. Exhale strongly 3 more times, clearing all negativity from your space. Continue to breathe normally. As you breathe, feel the energy of the universe surrounding you, connecting you to all. As you continue to breathe, see a big ball of light floating above your head. This ball of light represents your energy and focus. Let the ball of light slowly enter your body. As it enters your body, envision a beam of light connecting you directly to Source. Take a deep breath in and breathe out slowly through your mouth. As this connection grows, so does the light within you. The light shines into the top of your head, in your heart, and then into your stomach, into your legs, and all the way down to your toes. Take a deep breath in, breathe out slowly through your mouth. As it completely engulfs you, this energy manifests itself in the form of love. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale through your mouth. This love now completely fills your body from head to toe. It fills you so much that it overflows into your aura. Now with love in your heart and surrounding you, ask for any higher guides to protect you in your highest and best interest. Take a deep breath in and fill yourself with the love around you and inside you. Breathe in the moment and relax. You are love and light, connected to Earth, one with Source. This is an emotional release quick meditation. Start by taking a deep breath and slowly let it go. As you breathe, clear your mind. Let your thoughts empty and send them to the ground. Relax your body. Breathe into yourself deeper and deeper with each breath you take. As you breathe, relax your body and clear your mind of any thoughts. It should not feel like pushing the thoughts away, but just letting them pass from our mind through our body. Letting our own energy just flow. Let out a big sigh. As you begin to relax more and more into your body, take one more deep breath, and as you breathe, envision a ball of light sitting directly in your stomach. This warm light grows brighter with each breath in and out. Continue to breathe normally as you envision the ball growing bigger and bigger. The larger it grows, the brighter it glows. Feel the white light fill you. You begin to feel yourself melt as one into the light. Realizing the light is you and you are light, connected in divine and Source. As feelings of love and light spread through your body, you are a being of light, and the light is shining from you. You begin to shine so brightly that all you see is white light. Take a deep breath and slowly exhale through your mouth. Ask that only energies that are in your highest and best surround you now. Only energies that are in your highest and best surround you now. Only energies that are in your highest and best surround you now. Continue breathing normally. As you breathe, you become more and more connected to Source. Each breath in connects you to the oneness of the universe. Our light and the light of others is connected. In complete oneness with the light, breathe out all anger, fear, anxiety, and stress. Breathe in the white light and release all fear, anger, anxiety, and stress with a strong breath out. Continue breathing out all fear, anger, anxiety, and stress strongly. All the negative thoughts and emotions are released into the white light and disintegrate away. Take 3 deep breaths in and breathe strongly out. Relax in the state of being cleared from the negative emotions. Be aware of yourself. Relax in this lighter and more relieved energy. Take a moment to appreciate it. As you breathe, feel the gratitude and the love that surrounds you in your life. Breathe in all the positive influences that generate positive emotions in you. Relax in this clean, pure energy that you have created for yourself. Take a deep breath in and slowly release through your mouth. Thank yourself for taking time for you. Enjoy this moment. Continue to breathe normally. As we continue to breathe and feel connected to Source, and feel connected and whole in our emotional state. Breathe in deeply the white light that surrounds you and is within you. Take a breath and breathe in white light as it fills all the spaces in the areas that negativity once was held. As it fills these spaces, envision the white light transforms into a beautiful and rich golden light. This light begins to radiate around us as we become more and more connected to the universe and others. Take a deep breath and sit in this positive energy. As you continue to breathe, feel immersed in this radiant light. Take a deep breath and release it slowly. As you breathe out, release any expectations you may have. Any expectations that could bring those feelings of stress, fear, anxiety, or even anger to us. Take another deep breath and slowly release the need for validation. Breathe in again and breathe out any attachments you may have that no longer serve you. As you breathe in the light, connecting to all that you need, breathe out all attachments to outcomes. Breathe in love and breathe out the attachments to situations. Breathe in oneness and let go of your own emotional reaction. Take 3 deep breaths. Thank your inner self. Thank your divine self. Thank Source and Universe. Appreciate this connection to your emotional self and the emotional exchange between you and others. The love that is forever flowing between you and Source. Love is light, light is love, and you are both. Take a deep breath. Slowly exhale. And you can begin to come back. Slowly wiggle your toes, open your eyes. Begin to reconnect to the room, the space, and the time of the day.
So this week we're talking about journaling, and journaling is one of my favorite things. I definitely don't do it as much as I should, but that's something that I'm working on. And it's such a huge and powerful tool that so many people don't take advantage of. And while I was researching for this episode, I came across this really amazing quote that I wanted to share with you. It's by Jen Williamson, and she says, "Journal writing, when it becomes a ritual for transformation, is not only life-changing, but life-expanding." And I thought that was such an amazing quote and really encapsulates what journaling can be. Because so many people who think about journaling or hear about journaling, they think of it more as like a diary of like writing down what you did that day, or what foods you ate even, or what emotions you felt, things like that. But it is so much more powerful than that, and especially when it comes to for growth and transformation and recording what you're doing and how you're doing it, and it's so incredible.
It really, really is. Like, for me, journaling can be so transformative. It really changes my mood. It's one of those things when I'm in a negative space, I quickly find that after kind of expressing myself, and I journal in a very abstract way, but I find when I finally get through expressing myself, I usually have a clarity, and it really does help me to feel so much better. And I feel like you can see your growth more when you look at journaling. When you
Absolutely.
go backwards,
Yeah.
that's where I feel like I see my transformations, like my own personal progress.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree with that, because one of the things that I love about journaling is just, for me personally, especially if I'm going through like a rough time or being like overwhelmed by emotions or whatever, journaling allows me to transfer those emotions onto the paper, right? So like they're not affecting me as much anymore, and so I can actually think through a situation with a clear head and a clear heart and like an open mind, even because it helps you get rid of that, like the preconceived notions and the judgments and the whatever, right? That all goes onto the paper so that you yourself are just present in the moment.
It really does actually help you to be present in the moment, I think. Even when you're writing about something in the past, you have to write it from a standpoint of where you view it today. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of like a sense of permanency when you journal, mm-hmm. where you can't like, I don't know if you've ever been in a position where you almost want to like be like, no, I didn't think like that at the time, or no, I never really enjoyed that, or oh, that wasn't something, or like, oh, I was totally about that was all I wanted, and like you go back and you'll read things that actually show you like you might have had a different perspective, and it's kind of eye-opening because it makes you be more, I guess, honest with yourself.
Yes, that's actually a really good point, Amy, because like a lot of people, when we try to recall memories and stuff, right, there's been so much scientific research about it and how like every time you recall a memory it shifts slightly or whatever, but that's totally true. I remember, I think it was a few years ago, I found one of my really old diaries, like back in high school, like old diaries. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Oh goodness. Oh, you went there. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
So I started reading it, right? And I was like, oh my God, what I thought like this is what I felt. This is because it was so different from like who I am today. You know what I mean? Because it was all like, I mean, I definitely had some really good times in high school and stuff, but it wasn't easy for me, you know, because I definitely got bullied and stuff, and, you know, had a ton of crushes who didn't like me back and things like that. And as I was reading this little journal, granted, I was not good at doing like a consistent journal even back then, but like the entries that I was reading were just so, like the thought process was different, the like emotional maturity was so different, all this stuff, and just seeing that, and that's who I was, and actually remembering it more accurately, I suppose, you know, because it was written there. And there was some stuff that I had written down that were so important to me at that time. And when I looked back, I was like, I don't even remember that right now, you know, because it just wasn't like I thought it was, but it wasn't. And just seeing that huge transformation it can be so empowering. And that doesn't mean that like you can only look back on like your high school journal, right? I look back at journal entries from like a month ago, you know, and see how far I've come since then.
I mean, that's a good point. Like they really do like show who you were at a given time, you know? Like the inside of your head, your personal closet, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's also like in the same reflection though, I find like you can look at things and sometimes think like, oh, well, you know, I was so emotional then I couldn't really have a good perspective. I couldn't see really what the situations were.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, I think one of the best things though to remember is like when you are looking back, like you still have to love that version of yourself, even if you're not that person anymore. You still have to like, you have to be honest with it, but you also have to accept it, because I feel like that's part of what growth is looking back and being like, yeah, maybe there were times I didn't, you know, feel as comfortable or as happy or express myself as honestly, authentically as I do now.
Yes. And being able to forgive that past version of yourself too. Like loving and forgiving that past version of yourself. Because we all have things that we might regret or might wish that we had done differently. But to be honest, if we had done things differently, we wouldn't be where we are now, you know? And so like I feel like our past selves get such a huge like a bad rap, and they shouldn't.
Well,
they're still
I I think there also are people who lived in the past who are so connected to who they were that they can't be happy with who they are now. Some people feel like they already had their glory days, or the best years of their life. And I feel like that's also something about love and acceptance too. It's not in forgiving yourself for changing. And it doesn't always have to be a negative or a positive, even those connotations. It's more about that energy of seeing yourself as whole, past and present.
Yeah, that's totally true. Because I remember when I'm back to high school. When I was in high school, I thought I was at my peak, right? Because I was in so many different band things and doing music a lot, and doing drama and doing all these things and really enjoying it. And then after I graduated college, it was after college, so I had to come into the quote-unquote real world, and suddenly all the skills that I had developed in high school and college were kind of not usable. But recently I've started, or not recently, but past few years I've started really developing other skills too. And there's a part of me that's oh, I would like to get back into music, but I'm also trying to prioritize where my energy goes, which is another good thing about journaling, is it does help you prioritize your life, right? And it helps you discover triggers that you may not have noticed, or help you sort of really put down in a solid foundation kind of thing what you actually want to do, right? Because there are so many different types of journaling. It's not just writing your day-to-day life, although that is absolutely incredible if you do that. But there are so many different types to journaling. There are different ways to journal. There are different things that you can do with journaling.
Bullets, sketches, poetry, so many different things.
Yeah, using writing prompts, even using whatever. So one of the classes that I teach is called Your Soul Journal, and in it I basically guide the participants through a meditation where they connect with one chakra, and usually we decide on the chakra during at the beginning of the class, and then I have the participants ask that chakra a question, and their answer is delivered in the form of a short story, which is a type of journaling, right? Because you add these little short stories to your journal, and then you get to see sort of what's going on right now, what do you need to really focus on, what needs to be addressed, things like that.
What do you think the benefits of doing that are?
So I did like I said, I did some research before this episode, and the benefits of journaling are huge. It impacts every part of your life it possibly could. Your emotional health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, literally everything. Journaling is like I said, one of the best tools that I feel is so underutilized. But to give you some actual facts, I suppose, and the links to these will be in the description down below. So, benefits of journaling, according to the University of Rochester Medical Center, journaling is a healthy way to express yourself, which helps you deal with overwhelming emotions. Journaling helps you manage your anxiety, helps you reduce your stress, and helps you cope with depression, which is awesome. And then some more benefits according to a different source, the Intermountain Healthcare. Journaling actually helps improve your immune function, which when I saw that, I was like, yes, because my immune system definitely needs a boost. It goes on to say that expressive writing can strengthen your immunity and decrease your risk of illness. It can also help lessen symptoms of asthma and rheumatoid arthritis. And it can also improve liver and lung function. And this was the coolest part, and I think really ties into what journaling is. It says, journaling can help the wounded heal faster. And now I'm sure that they meant physically wounded, like people who've had surgery or, anything like that. But it also helps, emotionally wounded people, spiritually wounded people, mentally wounded people. It just helps the wounded heal faster, which is incredible. Some other benefits from Intermountain Healthcare say, like you were saying earlier, boost your mood. Journaling can improve your mood and give you a greater sense of overall emotional well-being and happiness. Totally true. Because especially if you're having a really bad day and you journal about it, like I said, you put those emotions onto the paper, like you transfer them, and then all that you're left with is your, happy self. Well, give or take. But it really does help you in that emotional health kind of factor.
I feel like mentally, like going back to that prioritization, I feel like it really does help you to focus and organize. And so like a lot of times I feel like I need like one notebook for them all. Like I really do. I feel like I have too many different, like between planners and like sketch pads and in my notebook, I always feel like there's never enough room in one to do it all. But oftentimes I turn my like sketch pad / journal into planners as well. And I'll highlight like the things I want to do in my day, how I want to spend my day. And oftentimes, like, I feel like that also helps me express myself because it gets me a place where like, I'm like, well, I don't want to do this, but I have this later on that I have to do.
Yeah.
And like, I want to do the later thing. And so like, it kind of gives me like a way to encourage my movement and keep like my energy flowing. And so like, I do think it has a lot about, mental clarity that people don't appreciate enough, because just like letting things go and writing them down takes out your headspace.
Yes.
At least more room for other things you want to think about, being more present, being in the moment even.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's totally true. And that's a really good point, because like I said, like there's so much more to journaling than just writing something down. Even though that's kind of the basis of it, the benefits of it and how it helps you grow and transform, it's one of those things where it's kind of difficult to see in the moment sometimes, right? Like we were talking about looking back and seeing how far you've grown and like looking back at different headspaces you were in and things like that. But journaling is just so powerful. And it's such a simple thing. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper. That's all you need, right? And the ability to, or the openness to allow yourself to actually put down on paper what you're feeling and thinking, or what you want or don't want, or things like that.
Well, I feel like that's kind of what your class is about, though, no? Like, don't you help people to kind of reconnect with that creative vibe?
Yes.
Kind of find themselves in that way?
Yep.
Because the class really is centered around, like, expressing yourself through writing.
Yes.
And it doesn't just have to be writing in the sense of, like, writing paragraphs. Like, right. I know, like, if I were to doodle and draw a picture, and, like, that was something that really helped me to express. Like, I feel like that is kind of, like, what like the pen and the paper concept is about. It's about giving you that blank canvas in whatever form it is to kind of write and put down what you need to. And so I think that's pretty much like your class centers around creative writing and kind of centers around the idea of like connecting in a comfortable way of journaling and kind of expanding upon what journaling is even.
Yeah. And just being able to express yourself in a healthy way. And that's really what any type of journaling is being able to just express yourself without hurting anyone, without hurting yourself. One of the cool things about journaling is it also provides that like that space to promote more positive and healthier self-talk too, because I know a lot of us, this is something that I've struggled with definitely, is the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves and how we put ourselves down or say, no, we can't do that, or things like that. And journaling is one of those like safe spaces where you can actually allow yourself to say, what if I did do this? What could happen, either negative or positive, and what do I actually want, and things like that. And it really allows you to start shifting that internal dialogue from, no, you can't, you're not good enough, to, you know what? Yeah, I am good enough. It helps you
Well, at least to identify it even.
Yeah.
You know, to see it, absolutely. But I'm not gonna lie, you said the word safe space, and like all I kept thinking is that one time that my brother stole my journal. And read it aloud in the kitchen. And I just was like, why is he doing this to me? And like, I feel like at that age, I was a teenager, wrote so much personal stuff in there. And like, I was mortified, like horrified. It was just my parents. Like at this time now, it would probably not even faze me. But like, you know, looking back at that, like I'm kind of like one of those things where it's like the safe space is kind of what the journaling is. And like, when you feel like that is violated, such a strong connection because it is a safe space, because it is a place where you get to express yourself without judgment.
That situation where someone reads your journal, if you're in a space where you're not comfortable yet with sharing things about yourself, that is like one of the worst things that you feel like could happen to you. But
it only feels that way because you connect and you write so much that can be so personal.
Exactly. But then at the same time, once you start sort of shedding those layers of feeling discomfort about sharing things about yourself, then you start kind of embracing that, you know, you don't necessarily care who reads your journal or not, because that's ultimately who you are. Like, that's an extension of you, you know? And when I certainly haven't gotten to this point yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But like, when you're so comfortable in who you are that you don't fear judgment from other people, that's incredibly liberating. And that's and that's, you know, like, I have so much respect for bloggers who share such personal information about themselves on the internet. And on the one hand, I'm kind of like, why would you put that on the internet? On the other hand, I'm like, good for you. Like, you know, own that. Like, own who you are, you know, and don't let naysayers or judgmental people bring you down.
You do you.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't harm others or yourself, you do you.
Exactly.
And like, in the you do you concept, there's definitely like many ways you can journal and many ways you can express yourself. So I just don't want people to get stuck in the mindset that like it has to be me writing these paragraphs upon paragraphs expressing my saddest, deepest, most intimate emotions. It doesn't have to be that way. And there's actually many different formats. And so for me, like, I love art. I love to look at it, to create it, and to be part of it. And so in that concept, like, my journaling often includes like little sketches of what I either experienced, how I felt, something that inspires me throughout the day. I also find I often write poetry, and it might not even be complete poems. I literally could start and stop, but that's the privacy of a journal. Mm-hmm. And so for me, like, if there's something that like inspires me, and it comes up as I'm writing, I don't have to hold myself back. And there was years when I was like really young, where I was like, a journal is a journal, a sketch pad is a sketch pad, and everything else is everything else. And I came to a point where I was like, this is absurd. This is absurd to have so many things. And I still keep my planner separate, but that's because I get into the highlighting and the sticker phase a little bit with it. I'm not obscene. I don't have a whole cabinet for things, but I do have, you know, a little couple of stickers and things that I like to use with it. But in this, like, when it comes to journaling, like, I do use it as a sketch pad, as a place for music or poetry. I use it for a place to organize my thoughts. Even sometimes some of my projects in my classes end up in my journal first, because I'll be expressing how I connect to it, what I think about it. And, you know, in that, I feel like, you know, there's definitely some like journaling concepts that when we talk about how it connects to our emotions and our reflective viewpoints on ourselves, our lives, our situations, I do find that with journaling, we're kind of in a space where you really can like learn, I guess would be the best way to put it, learn more about yourself.
Yes.
And through learning about yourself, it doesn't always have to be a reflection. It could be, you know, being current with where you are in your situation. And so like sometimes like when I journal also some of the readings I do. I read tarot cards, so occasionally I'll journal in a reading or part of a reading that connects to me, and I'll kind of like reflect on that in my journal. And so some of the questions that come up to me, like that I also prompt myself with to write about when I don't know how to begin. Because I'm sure we've all been there, right, Kel?
Yep.
Like you have your pen, you have your paper, you're like, I'm going to journal today. And then you're like, how do I start? God, so much happened in between this time and that time.
Yeah.
And it feels overwhelming. And so sometimes I'll be like, well, what do I need in my life right now? Let's focus on the things I had that I needed. And I'll start there. And that will usually help me pinpoint what I don't need or what I should let go of.
Mm-hmm.
You can also kind of look at it like, what are things I want to achieve or set forward, and how do I feel about them?
Yeah.
What will be important in 5 years? Like you were talking about being a teenager and reflecting back and being like, that wasn't important because I don't remember that situation. Like that's the perfect one. Like what is important in 5 years for me?
Yeah.
Like, and so when you feel like even overwhelmed, because sometimes we go to journal because we feel overwhelmed, but then sometimes our tasks themselves can feel overwhelming. I don't know how to explain that, but it's a weird mindset. And when you get into that space, like having prompts or things that you can actually reflect upon to help you kind of focus on a solid goal, actually can be part of the journaling process too.
Yes. Yeah, there is one of the things that I really want people to take away from this podcast, this episode, is that there is no wrong way to journal. It is whatever works for you. So like what you were saying, you prefer like art and snippets of poems and lines and, jotting down ideas and things like that, bullets and stuff. And that's incredible, especially if you're living a busy life, if you have to take care of your family or if you're running from one job to the next. Like, you don't have, half an hour to sit down and write out what you did that day, right? You gotta make dinner. You have to sleep at some point. Like, so those, like, that's amazing for people who have busy lifestyles or for people who don't enjoy writing a lot, and I totally understand that. And then you have the flip side, which I guess would be me, of I actually really enjoy writing paragraphs and pages and things like that. I mean, I'm a writer. I kind of hope that I enjoy it.
I would hope so, yes.
But so my type of journaling is very different from yours. And like, first of all, yes, thank God we're different people. Otherwise, this would be like the most boring podcast on the planet. Like, imagine like two clones of yourself.
I'm okay. One is enough.
But two clones of you would be really interesting.
Nope, I'm good.
I'm good. I feel like would just be talking about dogs all day. But anyway. So my style of journaling is very different, and it's incredible that we're so different, but we can come together to share these things. And so for me, I prefer to sort of go kind of like what I do with my class. I prefer to start with like a little bit of a meditation, connect with something that, whether it's a chakra, whether it's an idea, a project, anything, sort of connect with it in that more of a meditative space. And then I actually really enjoy writing short stories that help me sort of discover and understand what it is that I'm trying to connect to. So like if I was connecting with a chakra, right, I would ask it, like in the class, I would ask it a question, and then the answer would come in the form of a short story. And generally these short stories are, for me personally, they're written in third person. So like he, she, it, they, whatever. And they're I like to start them out like fairy tales. Like I usually say once upon a time, or, once there was a blah, blah, blah. And that helps me sort of disconnect just enough. And disconnect's not really the right term. It's more of a non-attachment sort of thing to the situation. So it helps me get into that clarity, that clear mind, that clear heart, that open space. And I just start free writing, basically, this short story. And in that short story, I find like what I'm struggling with and how I can overcome it, or what I'm connecting with and how to enhance them, things like that. And it's a really cool, different type of journaling, and I really enjoy it. Could be because, like I said, I'm a writer, so I love writing characters and I love writing situations and scenes and things like that. But then I also, if I don't have the time to do like that whole meditation, then I'll also just write down, today I had this experience. I like to do more experiences rather than day to day. So like if something really cool happens to me or something really negative happens to me, I'll write it down in a journal. And then I'll be able to look back and be like, oh, that's right, that happened, and look how far I've come from that now.
Well, I definitely do more of a traditional journaling if I have strong emotions.
Yeah.
Because that's where I need the clarity. That's where I need like that place to process.
Right.
And so like if I'm having a strong emotional experience, it doesn't mean negative or positive, just emotional experience in general. That's where I feel like the journal is. And things I want to remember too, because I don't always, like there's certain things you want to remember how you felt in the moment. And that's when journaling is key. It really is about being more in the moment and connecting more to your emotional self, Yeah. And I think that's why it's important to journal.
We have artists and we have writers and we have musicians. But for the quote-unquote average person who may not feel like they can call themselves a writer, a musician, or an artist, like it took me a long time to actually feel comfortable calling myself a writer. Like I have no published works. I think I only have you read most of my unfinished works.
That you left me hanging on. Yep.
Yeah, I have. But so it took me a long time to actually feel comfortable calling myself a writer because I didn't necessarily have any tangible physical thing to show for it, you know what I mean? But I am a writer. I love writing. That's what I do. I write, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a journal entry, whether it's a social media post, you know what I mean? It's writing to me. So the self-expression, we need more of that just in our daily lives as people, as a whole. We need to learn how to express ourselves in creative ways and be comfortable with it, because it helps so much with our own growth, transformation, our own health, overall health. And so, yeah, journaling, man, journaling's pretty badass.
It is. Journaling.
I'm gonna leave you with that. Journaling is pretty badass. Darkstar.
I like that. I like that. That will be added to our gratitude for today. Our gratitude of the day is going to include journaling.
Yes.
Because it's pretty badass.
Absolutely.
If anyone asks. All right. Well, with that, I think that wraps up right now.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Amy, for
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you all who are listening to this. And I hope it inspires you to journal. Break out if you're like me, one of 500 notebooks you have laying around your bedroom and just start.
Oh my God, that's a different day, but we will have to share that notebook story one day.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness, we will have to share that. I am writing that down right now. Notebook story. If we had time, I would, but we don't. But yes, notebook stories go in there, Kelly. Guys, Tune in. Notebook stories. Watch for the caption. It's coming forward. It needs to happen. You won't believe what this one did. All right.
With this one. This one over here. What it did. It ruined my life with its notebooks.
Oh, goodness.
All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever. And yeah, journal and share it with us. Well, maybe not the journal entry, but share with us your experience. Leave a comment. Tell us, how do you feel about journaling? Do you journal often? What do you love about it? How do you do anything? Because journaling is pretty badass.
It is pretty badass.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you in the next episode. Now it's time to close our podcast with a prayer of gratitude. So to help us switch gears, let's take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Deep, cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And one more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we begin the prayer of gratitude. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the universe, to spirit, to source, to God. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the galaxies and all the solar systems. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the planets and all the stars and all the moons. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the star beings. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to our galaxy and our solar system. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the planets in our solar system. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to our sun and our moon. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to our planet Earth. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to our guides and our ancestors. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to Mother Earth and Father Sky. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the element of air and the spirits of air. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the flying things and all the clouds and the breeze and the winds. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the element of fire and the spirits of fire. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the dragons and the phoenix and all the fiery beings. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the element of water and the spirits of water. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the swimming things and the rivers and the oceans and lakes and ponds and puddles and rain. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to the element of earth and the spirits of earth. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the walking things and crawling things and slithering things and hopping things and climbing things. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the trees and bushes and flowers and grass and sand and dirt and mountains. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all the people on this planet. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to our families, our friends, our tribes, and our animal companions. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to ourselves. We are grateful for the experiences we have had and the lessons we have learned. We are grateful for the growth we have gone through and the healing we have gone through. We are grateful for who we are and who we have been and who we are becoming. We are grateful for this experience and this moment. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to ourselves. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to all that surrounds us and to all that we have. We send prayers of gratitude and healing to any and all who need it. We are grateful, and we are healing. Aho.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of Crown and Root Podcast.
If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel for more discussions. Be sure to check out our Facebook and Instagram at Crown and Root Podcast.
If you're interested in Darkstar services, visit their Facebook page at Darkstar Phoenix Healer.
And if you're interested in Amy's services, visit her website at amysabatino.com.
Thank you so much for watching.
Be sure to come back for our next episode.
This is Crown and Root, sending you love and light.
Aho.